Hello and welcome to a fresh new episode of Science Monitor, our weekly update on all that is happening in the field of science and technology in and around the country. From affordable solution for diabetes to evidence on how life vanished from Earth, we have many exciting stories for you today. But before we move on to them, let's take a look at the headlines. Controlling diabetes easily, researchers have a brain wave. India and Bangladesh sites for major quakes, warn scientists. How did life vanish from Earth? Researchers dig up new evidence. Second unit of Kundankulam nuclear power plant up brings hope for more energy. In our In Focus segment today, we will try to understand the science behind plant tissue culture and how crossbreeds of plants are produced. And now news in details. With the changing lifestyles, the incidence of diabetes is rising across the world. Diabetes also brings with it a lot of other complications such as kidney failure and stroke. With a large population under the clutches of diabetes, affordable solutions to prevent and manage diabetes are the need of the hour. In this context, a team of researchers from India and Pakistan have developed a new model for diabetes which has been clinically tested in both the countries. Now, according to the new model, diabetes can be prevented and managed using few easy steps. How? Let us see in this report.
Rapidly altering lifestyles, changing environment and habits. Today, a host of factors exist that take a toll on our health. Diabetes, hence, has become a common complaint, both in developed as well as developing nations. With an estimated 450 million people worldwide suffering from diabetes, the disease has emerged as a global threat and is expected to be the 7th leading cause of death in the world by the year 2030. But this need not be, as diabetes, which experts define as a group of metabolic diseases which leads to high blood sugar, can be easily and affordably managed. And this is exactly what a team of medical researchers from India and Pakistan recently demonstrated. The study, which is the first trial of comprehensive low-cost diabetes management in a low or middle-income country setting without expensive medication, involves a trained clinic attendant as part of the diabetes management. The trial, conducted across at 10 centers in India and Pakistan and involving 1,150 diabetics, shows that involvement of trained care coordinators can help tremendously in monitoring and maintaining desired blood sugar levels.
Prevention, both in terms of the impact on the person as well as impact on the country's economy, is a much better strategy than waiting for the cure. Hence, and what is prevention in this case? A large amount of prevention rests with the people themselves. Once you make them aware, once the messages are clear and simple, the myths are dispelled with, we're able to give these messages also in a culturally sensitive manner.
According to the study, which has been published in the journal Annals of Internal Medicine, care coordinators can act as a bridge between the patient and the doctor, and aided with the decision support software, can follow up patients at least once every 3 months, discussing about diabetes, self-management, adherence to diet plans, exercise, tobacco cessation, medication use, self-monitoring of glucose levels, stress management, etc. The researchers point out that after 28 months, those who received extra attention from the care coordinators showed far superior level of sugar control, thus reducing the risk of heart attacks or kidney problems.
India and Bangladesh may be in for a great quake that may measure up to 9 on the Richter scale. Now, this is the warning issued by researchers based on new evidence. According to reports, the great earthquake is expected to be caused due to the two tectonic plates under Ganga and Brahmaputra rivers and is likely to have a devastating impact.
Following the devastating Nepal and Hindu Kush earthquakes, which shook the humanity by its roots, here comes a shocking new revelation. India and Bangladesh are likely to be hit by a huge earthquake few hundred years from now, the damage extending up to Myanmar or more. The warning comes from the researchers who have been studying tectonic activities of earth plates in the Indo-Bangladesh region under the leadership of geophysicist Michael Steckler at Columbia University's Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory. The earthquake, which has been predicted to reach a magnitude of 9 on Richter scale, has been modelled upon data collected on the increasing strain building beneath Bangladesh, where two tectonic plates underlie the vast delta of the Ganges and the Brahmaputra rivers. Studies show that there is a subduction zone or converging zone of tectonic plates around Bangladesh, where a part of the plate juncture has been locked and loading up with stress for almost 400 years now. While the hazard does not seem imminent in the near future, the researchers have estimated that the occurrence is likely to affect almost 140 million people in the region, not only in the form of direct impact, but also due to changes in the courses of the Ganges and Brahmaputra rivers. The massive earthquake described in the journal Nature Geoscience is likely to occur when the stress is released will take many more years. While the present technology cannot make a 100% accurate prediction of earthquake, but the resulting damage due to them can be minimized by taking proper measures. Towards this end, seismologists are also planning to deploy 70 seismometers across Myanmar in 2017 to get a better image of the subducting slab.
The exact factors that wiped out the giant creatures like dinosaurs and thousands of other organisms that once walked on Earth still remains a mystery. It is believed that life on Earth vanished millions of years ago when a giant asteroid collided with it. Now, a set of new evidence throws more light on how life might have actually disappeared from the Earth. What is more, this evidence has crucial links with India.
The Earth was once home to thousands of different species of organisms, including the giant dinosaurs. But these giant creatures that ruled the Earth suddenly vanished from the planet millions of years ago. While there are various speculations and theories that try to explain how this mass extinction might have occurred, most recent evidence throws new light into what might have occurred. And the evidence sums up to two words: climate change. According to researchers from the University of Michigan, the mass extinction of the terrestrial dinosaurs and about 3/4 of the planet's plant and animal species was caused by the combined effects of volcanic eruptions and an asteroid impact. The team, which analyzed the chemical composition of 29 fossil shells, concludes that the about 66 million years ago temperature of ocean water saw an unexpected spike by almost 7.4 degrees. This, they say, was brought about a volcanic eruption in the Deccan region of India. While the eruption, which emitted large quantities of toxic gases and dust, acted as the first factor, it was followed by the collision of a large asteroid on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. The impact resulted in a series of tectonic activities on Earth, and together with the volcanic eruption, resulted in a stress that triggered climate change. The new theory hence indicates that the disappearance of ancient life forms from Earth was not a sudden but a gradual process. The study has been published in the journal Nature Communications.
After many successful experiments, the second reactor of Kudankulam nuclear power plant has attained criticality. The plant, located in the Tirunelveli district of Tamil Nadu, will now help the country meet the rising energy demands. The first unit of Kudankulam nuclear power plant is already functional and it produces about 1,000 watts of energy.
India has taken another crucial step in the direction of cleaner and safer nuclear energy. With the second reactor of Kudankulam nuclear power project operational since 8:56 p.m. on 10th July, hundreds of towns have the new hope of more energy. The reactor was started following the clearance by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change experts, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board and subsequent approval by the Supreme Court. The reactor, second in the series, attained criticality and became operational after following many steps. The 163 enriched uranium fuel assemblies were loaded into the reactor in May, a procedure which lasted for 8 days, followed by containment leak test, reactor pressure vessel, piping line and system equipment test, hydro test and steam generation test.
We have made the unit critical. That means the sustained fission reaction has been achieved. Now we will be conducting a series of tests and experiments, and we will be raising the power in stages, in steps. Yes, it will reach 100% capacity of our generation in about 3 months.
Once the reactor starts generating 400 megawatts of power, possibly within 45 days from the date of criticality, it is likely to be connected to the grid. According to sources, power generation will be raised to 500 megawatts, 750 megawatts, 900 megawatts and 1000 megawatts in stages, with testing conducted at every stage to verify the technical parameters. The second reactor, which has been delayed by 10 years than the original plan, is expected to provide electricity to Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, Kerala and Karnataka. The nuclear reactor has been built in collaboration with Russia at a cost of over 22,000 crore like its predecessor. The first unit, which started in July 13, 2013, is presently synchronized with the southern grid and generates about 5,777 million units of power.
And right now we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more science news. Stay with us.
Indian pharma has done excellent in generic medicine. We are the number 3 in the world market. Now the pharma industry is entering into a biopharma. That is a new trend of pharmaceutical industry.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Kiran Kalia, Director, Naipur, Ahmedabad, only on Rajya Sabha TV. The Harappan period is also called the Bronze Era. Extensive collection from the era shows the Indus artists were not only well versed in techniques of metallurgy, but also innovations in dance and performing arts. This is best seen in the famous Mohenjo-daro relic, the Indus dancing girl. No less impressive is the man drawing a bullock cart depicting agriculture activities. Bronze elephants, on the other hand, show domesticated animals used for transport.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries. Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching Science Monitor. Let us now have a look at some important science and technology activities happening in India and abroad in our next segment, Science Express.
Following its rendezvous with Jupiter, Juno has started its work. The spacecraft has sent its first in-orbit view of Jupiter. The color image captured by the visible light camera of Juno shows the atmospheric features of Jupiter, including the Great Red Spot and 3 of the massive planet's 4 largest moons, Io, Europa and Ganymede. In the coming weeks, Juno will take high-resolution images of Jupiter and hunt for water in the planet, along with gathering data on Jupiter's origins and evolution. NASA on 11th July released an image of the moon crossing the face of the Earth. The event, which has been captured for the second time this year, has been clicked by the EPIC polychromatic imaging camera aboard the Deep Space Climate Observatory satellite. The image was captured as the moon moved between the satellite and Earth's sunlit side. In a rare spotting, a pride of 8 Asiatic lions was seen walking on a street in Junagadh town of Gujarat recently. The pride, which seems to have wandered into the human settlement, is believed to have come from Bhavnath Taleti of the Girnar mountain, which houses about 45 Asiatic lions.
Presently, high-yielding, disease-resistant plant varieties are in high demand in various sectors like agriculture, horticulture and forestry. Now, researchers employ a technique called tissue culture to generate such high-yielding, disease-resistant plant varieties. Tissue culture techniques were first adopted in India in 1980 and are today a widely used method. Now, high-yielding varieties of plants so generated are often exported to various countries across the world. We will learn about the science of tissue culture in our segment In Focus.
Thousands of years ago, man discovered that small seeds, when buried inside earth, give rise to new plants. This technique of propagating plants gave rise to agriculture. With experience gained from observations and experiments, we also discovered that planting cuttings, tubers and techniques such as layering are also various methods of propagation. Embarking upon the quest of introducing new characters such as high yield and disease resistance in existing species, researchers stumbled upon a new biotechnological tool called tissue culture. The technique emerged during the early 1990s and was pioneered by Gottlieb Haberland. The seedless lemons and fast-growing bananas we consume today are the result of this miraculous technique. Plant tissue culture, also known as micropropagation, refers to culturing of plant cells and tissues under sterile chemical and physical conditions in the laboratory. Tissue culture is based on a biological feature called totipotency. Plant cells are totipotent, which means that each cell possesses the genetic blueprint necessary to generate the whole organism and can hence produce plants that are genetically similar to a parent plant. During tissue culture, the plant cells and tissues harvested from any part of the parent plants, known as explants, are cultured in highly sterile conditions in the laboratory. The medium in which these cells are cultured contains organic and inorganic nutrients along with plant hormones like auxin and cytokinin. The plants produced from culturing explants are genetically similar and are generally called clones. It is also possible to insert the genes for special characters like high yield, disease and rot resistance using viral and bacterial vectors and gene guns to create genetically engineered plants during tissue culture. Today, tissue culture is one of the easiest techniques available to propagate large number of plants in a short time with desired characters and is applied to almost all fruit plants, vegetables and cereals. The technique is also applied to flowering and ornamental plants. Tissue culture is a major industry in India. Today, with 200 commercial centers growing at a rate of 15% per annum, and an annual turnover of rupees 500 crores, producing 350 million plants. Some of the common plants propagated through tissue culture in India includes banana, sugarcane, apple, teak, orchids, etc. Considering the potential of tissue culture, Department of Biotechnology, India has also established a national certification system for tissue culture raised plants to provide support to plant tissue culture industry and to facilitate production of quality planting material through tissue culture.
This is a totally new activity, not only for this country but for the world. There is no other country in the world which has entered the arena of certifying tissue culture raised plants.
Tissue culture is growing in its applications, particularly in the area of horticulture and forestry, with respect to producing pathogen and disease-free plants, propagating plants with very low chances of germinating and growing, and quickly producing mature plants. We can expect that in some time near future, tissue culture might also be used as a tool to ensure food security across the world.
And that is all for this episode of Science Monitor. Do tell us how do you like our program. You can send your feedback and suggestions. Our email ID is news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write into us at Vigyan Prasar, C24, Qutub Institutional Area, New Delhi 110016. Well, that is all for today. We'll be back with fresh news stories on science and technology again next week. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha TV. Bye-bye.